What's up, everyone? Welcome back. It's been a while, and I actually just recorded this entire video, and then I realized my microphone wasn't working. So, yeah, let's call this take two. But yeah, welcome back. Uh, Still, again, super crazy times. Trump tariffs peaking, China retaliating. Trump now, as I'm making this video, gave a 90-day relief for all the other countries except China, which immediately shot the markets back up quite considerably. I'd say, and still nowhere near to yeah, let's say a good level, but still markets are panicking. I still think we're heading into a very big bear market, recession, whatever you want to call it, and across the board. It's not just crypto, it's not just Bitcoin. It's going to be markets, stock markets, index funds, maybe even companies locally. I know in the Netherlands people are being laid off, uh, not as much, but still quite considerable amounts. I know that in America, car companies are actually starting to slow down production instead of increasing it, laying off people, and possibly the fallout is going to be much, much, much worse. Uh, it it might be a bit opportunistic, let's call it, but that is where we stand to make our most amount of money. The lower these markets go, the better prices we're able to buy, and the more profit we can make in the future. Now, considering we are going to, let's say we are heading into a bear market, this is going to take time. This is going to take time and dedication. We need to wait this out, keep buying the lows, and in order and to keep doing that is the rinse repeat recipe we need, and we need to stick to that regimen. Now it's easier said than done, especially because we might be affected in our personal lives. Like we might lose our jobs, or I don't know, lose a side income or a side hustle or anything along those lines will impact us. So yeah, we need to keep focused on our stable base, and other than that, we need to keep buying the assets we think have value in the future. Now, I'll show a little bit more of that in the video. In the rest of the video, I'll show a little bit about the charts. I'll show the crazy stuff that's happening as I'm making this video as well. So, yeah, let's not wait any long. Oh, before we get into the rest of the video, please, these are my own personal views. This is what I'm doing. This is what I have been doing for a few years now, and so far been working pretty well. Uh, but this could also be. This is how I got started. This is how we build. Obviously, I also tried the leverage thing, and trust me, it will backfire on you, especially during these times. All right, let's get into the video. All right, so as I said, while I'm making this video, prices are actually shooting up. We can see there's like Bitcoin shooting up 5%, Ethereum up to 9%. Tether obviously isn't going to do much, but even that's slightly up. XRP's up, BNB's up, all basically everything shot up, or at least everything that's notable, the bigger coins, the long-term holds. Sorry, the long-term holds. But if we look at the fear and greed index, we're still in massive, massive fear territory. Now, as I said, while I was making this video, this is are actually my old drawings. I'll remove those. Those were the drawings from the first take of this video, which sadly I cannot use because all the sound is cut out of it. Oh, there we go. Let's remove that. Now, this might seem like a crypto coin, but this is actually the S&P 500. 500 biggest companies in America, all combined into one stock. And honestly, it's shocking. Like, as I said, this is the daily chart today. It was a lot lower, but we're actually pumping considerably. Like, at the point of making this video, it's 10% in a day on an index fund. It's absolutely insane. Like, we have not seen candles like this since previous crashes. I mean, like the COVID situation. So even then, even for those means, it's considerable, and it's still going up. Like while I'm videoing this, so this is after Trump just announced raises tariffs on China to 125%. Trump authorizes 90-day pause on the tariffs. And this is within 2 minutes of each other. And yeah, the the gist of it is the Trump administration is pausing tariffs on the EU, Canada, other countries, and they're raising it on China because they went for a retaliatory tariff. Even though the EU did the same thing, is authorizing the same thing, but they're doing it in a much more mediocre fashion, lower fashion. I think it's only 10%, which was the retaliatory tariff, because that was from the previous Trump administration, and they kept that. So they're reinstating those. But yeah, 125%, and then a 90-day pause, and literal minutes after that, over $3.5 trillion added to the US stock market following a 90-day tariff pause. It's $3.5 trillion. Now remember, the whole crypto market is only 2.5. So more than the entire crypto market just got deposited into the stock markets after this news. So in essence, the stock market currently is more volatile than crypto. Uh, pretty insane movement, and we can see on the 7 days, like we are way down, like still 15% down, 5% down on Bitcoin. I do not think for a second that this is the end of it. I do not think this will shoot up and completely restore and go on to new heights, because the fundamentals haven't changed. Like, yeah, we might see some volatile movements during these 90 days. But who's to say he's not going to reinstate it in 30 days? He might double them. He might even double them again on China. And the problem is, fundamentally, all the countries are so intertwined with each other. Like, not one country can exclude a country that big completely and be fine. Or realistically, it's not going to happen. American automakers are already firing people. Tesla, even Elon Musk is trying to get them reversed because he knows how much trouble he's going to be in. And other than that, even the EU, Canada, like there's so much products that are intertwined, or even partials. Like obviously a car, it exists out of thousands of parts, and all those separate parts are being imported. Like not everything can be produced on such a short notice fully in the Americas, or vice versa. So obviously we're going to see much more fallout from this in the long term, even though we might see some short-term euphoria, like the extreme fear in the market. It might be a little bit higher tomorrow, but for sure we will see a correction back down again. So as I stated before, I'm definitely thinking we will see a recession / bear market happening, or at least a period of lows. And the strategy remains the same. We need to be buying these lower areas, especially let's say you bought at this. Oh, I got the wrong indicator. But let's say you buy at this area, and you don't buy at this area, but you buy again in this area, or maybe a little bit here. Eventually, this is going to crash back down. Yeah, you might make a little profit on this road up, but this is where your profit margin is. All these corrections down. Now this is the S&P 500, but the same obviously goes for Bitcoin. So let's grab the Bitcoin chart and let's zoom in a little bit. And let's turn off some indicators because I'm getting colorblind because of this. I normally don't use as much indicators, but I was asked for a little technical analysis, so that's why they're on. Right, so let's turn everything off and remove that. So yeah, this is still very volatile, and let's remove that one as well. This blue line is basically the history of Bitcoin, which I copied over the current Bitcoin prices. So let's say, grab them here. Actually need the USDT chart. And then we go to the monthly. So if we look at the history of BTC, we can see that this crash happened before. And I've posted this in several videos ago. Even when we were at this all-time high, people were calling me crazy that Bitcoin was going to go down because Trump became president. I was completely crazy. We're going to go to the moon, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, that didn't happen. And I don't think it will happen, at least for now. Could be completely wrong, but even then, I still win because I bought now. I bought in the red days, in the bloody days. But we can see this pattern basically repeating itself. And that's the power of technical analysis on crypto. It becomes self-fulfilling. Like, I'm not the only one who made this comparison. I'm 100% sure of that. Other people did. So they're all seeing this. And that top to that bottom almost precisely matches up with that one, and with that one, and with that one. And technically this one as well, only it took longer. There was more buying pressure, there was more euphoria in the market. So I also posted it on this one, and I put my last live stream, I put these green lines, I kept them in on purpose because these were levels where I was buying Bitcoin. So I already bought Bitcoin at this price at 78, and I actually put my last limit order on Bitcoin on around 77. I think it was 77 exactly. So I missed the lower part of it, but my next buys are around 70 and around 67, and I might add one more at 60 and even at 50, because honestly, with the way the world situation is, I'm definitely thinking we're gonna head towards this area, and I think it will be one big buying frenzy around this area. Now, why do I create this box? Because I think there's a big reaction gonna happen here, and this is exactly what happened. Only it was fueled by politics, um, because and also because prices aren't an exact science. It's not gonna bounce exactly at that price. It usually is wider areas. So I spread a lot of buying limit buying orders, which average out my entry, which makes sure I get the best price at that time, and also make sure I don't miss it. Like if I put my price on 73, let's call it 73, I would have missed out completely. And now I managed to buy a little just in that box. But overall, I still say we're in a downtrend. Economists are saying we're in a downtrend. Uh, there's extreme fear in the market, and it's very, very uncertain. And as time goes by, I think more repercussions will become known from all these uh, tariffs being imposed. And the only upside I see for Bitcoin is that the BRICS countries are looking for ways to avoid the dollar. So even China is going to look for it. Obviously, India was already looking for it. Russia wants to avoid using the dollar because of sanctions. So they're already starting to use more Bitcoin. And this might actually push them a lot further and trying to decouple Bitcoin from the dollar because of it. Because now it's very closely linked to S&P 500, for instance. We see the S&P go up, Bitcoin goes up. Um, but as people are trying to protect themselves against a dollar which is devaluating, more people might shift money into Bitcoin as opposed to American stocks or American bonds. And even that, we could see China massively selling US dollar bonds. And US Treasury said this was President Trump's strategy all along, to put China into a bad position. I doubt it. I really doubt this was his plan, but for now it seems to have paid off. But yeah, China and Russia are using Bitcoin to settle certain trade transactions. That's the one I wanted to show. And considering this one is actually while China issues travel warning to also, this is completely crazy. It's coming in while I'm making this video, so I can't really react fast enough to it. But um, still, like all the economies are intertwined so much that I still think this is going to be very bad overall on the longer term. Um, and this is going to affect economies globally, because it might seem like a win, a short-term win for now, but this will definitely have repercussions throughout the world globally. And yeah, it's pushing Bitcoin up now, but there is no reason for us to achieve a new all-time high here. So we're much more likely to go lower before we go higher. So that's the gist of the video. We need to start focusing on the bear market. We need to start protecting ourselves, stop trading high risk, high rewards, stop trying to grab all the all-time highs. We need to start focusing on building up our equity, building up our total crypto coins, not dollar value, but crypto coins. And over time, that will yield us the best results. And that's the same as people who bought around this top and did not buy here, did not buy here, did not buy here, maybe bought here, then crypto went down again, and maybe they sold here, and they did not, and then they bought back in here because Bitcoin was going back up. And that's the exact same thing people keep repeating. And we need to do this. We need to be buying here. We need to be buying here, 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 and here. And this is going to be the strategy for quite some time. Let's grab the other chart. Because as you can see here, this was 21. So let's say we bought at this price point, or maybe this one is a better example. We bought at 60K. People bought Bitcoin at 60K, and there were plenty of people that did this. So people bought at that area, and they bought it November of 21. And they were only back in profit at the 1st of March in 2024. So for 3 years, they were a massive, massive loss. Only if you sold. So you went from that to around a loss of 73%. And people sold on it because they were completely done with crypto, and yeah, they got completely wrecked, or they were using high leverage and completely wiped their accounts. But now, let's say we kept buying maybe that month, that month, that month, that month, that month. So let's say we kept buying small portions. We did not buy our lump sum in one moment. No, we bought our first little bit there. Then we bought there, and maybe even all the way back up to here. So let's say we average out at 35, which is a great price for Bitcoin. People wish they could buy Bitcoin currently at that price. They wish for it now, but only with the knowledge afterwards. But that was a 200% gain on Bitcoin overall if all you did was keep buying your monthly profits position. Sorry. If you kept putting in your monthly deposits, kept just buying Bitcoin, only buying Bitcoin. Obviously, people will not buy Bitcoin, just Bitcoin. People will buy Ethereum and everything else, which could magnify these percentages a little bit because their market caps are smaller. But if you could have grabbed the 200% gain on Bitcoin, and all you had to do was buy a little bit more every month. No risk, no need for high risk leverage trading, no need for gambling, basically. And this is something similar. This is a cycle which keep repeating itself, and Bitcoin will have a future. and more countries are moving towards Bitcoin. So we're all expecting Bitcoin to achieve new all-time highs, go to 200K. So that why would we not keep buying it the cheaper it gets? So let's say we did that same position, but we kept buying throughout these times as well. So let's say we grab another average. Let's say we average back out at that price. Or maybe let's say this, we average out at 50K. If we go to 200K, still 287% gain. So that's even more. That's almost 300%. It's almost three times your initial investment. And that's the power of DCAing in. And obviously we can influence this a little bit more. So if we know we have a very big crash down, you buy more than your just monthly position, but so you took some profits on the way up, you kept that cash aside, you pushed it back in at these worst possible times. That's when we can magnify our profits. So we can magnify our lower price. So let's say we manage to stick to that 35K average, and it'd be almost 470%, even more. This is the key. This is the power we have. And all we have to do is keep buying. Now, if you want to do this with me, you can use BitUnix. BitUnix is a very good exchange, in my opinion. It does not, you can use it anywhere in the world. No KYC or VPN needed. It also actually has quite some good deposit bonuses and trading fees if you use limit orders. Keep that in your mind. Always use limit orders because of the volatile fees, especially in these volatile prices. But that being said, BitUnix is my personal favorite. They also have something called isolated risk for leverage traders, which that is absolutely golden because you can protect your main account. You can only trade, or you can set it to trade only the amount you want to lose. And I think that is something every trader should use, and that is definitely the way to go. So mass panic is in our time, and the mass panic is, and it's our time to act. And if we act smart, we can take full advantage of it. And now is the time to trade. Now is the time to keep very close eye on this. Obviously, I would not buy on this big pump, which is now happening. But after this big pump, there will always be another cool down. And all the markets in general are still down. The S&P 500 is still down. Let's grab it real quick once more. Look at that. It's it's almost completely back up, but yeah, let's see what happens. It's still down considerably, and if Trump tweets the opposite the next day, something will completely push it back down again. All right, that will be the conclusion to this video. I will try to upload a lot more videos because this volatility is hard to keep up with. All right, guys. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I also have another little tip. I have a free Discord in the description below. It will be part of a much bigger Discord platform, and I will talk about that more in the next few videos. But if you managed to stick it out till now, thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next one.